Would you turn down that a little bit and get some feedback just a little bit? Okay, to start things off, I want you to envision something for me, okay? Just for a moment. I want you to picture a life where you're told that there is a waxy substance that's slowly but surely eroding away at your blood vessels. It's getting so thick that the blood can't even flow through. It's damaging your blood vessels, creating an aneurysm. Your heart is breaking and shutting down. Blood vessels are building up so thick that you can't even hardly function. You can't catch your breath, and the problem is you have a deficiency of drugs in your system. You're now on medications now and for the rest of your life. How's that sound? That's the paradigm. That's what we've been taught. That's what we've been told about our heart and cardiovascular health. That we are sick, we're diseased, and we need drugs to make us better. Okay? So what I'm here to tell you tonight is something that you are powerful and strong beyond your wildest expectations. You know how to be healthy. Your body knows what it takes to be healthy. And all we have to do is make a transformation and a change in the way you think and the way you believe. And your life will be different for the rest of your life. That sound a little better than the paradigm of sickness, illness, misery, disease, nursing home care, because that's what they preach. So it's time to start preaching up louder a different paradigm. This is called the Max Nation. These are all the Maximized Living Doctors offices around the world. Okay? Right now, guys, everybody in the Maximized Living Network is doing this program right now. It's happening right now, and we're doing this for the strength and power of solidarity. Because we have to start stepping up big in order to make this world a better place. And that's why I'm here. I've been doing it for 33 years, 34 years. I'm going to go until I can't go any longer. I'm going to keep talking until enough people listen that we hit a tipping point and we transform the planet. Is that cool, everybody? We'd like to have a better world, a healthier place, instead of being hiding behind masks in fear of COVID. How about if we're just so damn powerful? Bring on whatever you want. Because we're here, we're strong, and we're standing united. Fair enough? You see, guys, our purpose is to be the standard for natural health care where everyone is empowered to live to their fullest potential. That's the vision of this practice. Now, here's the part that's the most frustrating to me right here. And this is the frustrating part. Everyone deserves this, don't they? They deserve to hear this, right, Drew? Don't they deserve this? Don't they? They need to understand this. So we have to continue to preach and spread this message, because I don't have enough money to go against the pharmaceutical companies and the medical establishments to change the paradigm. It has to happen with our foot soldiers. You, me, and everybody else. We all need to play big and play hard so that you become that standard, so everyone can look to you as the answer. Is that fair? That's what this place is about. That's what we're about. So 2020, can we agree it's about fear, doubt, and some other nasty crap that happened in the last, but it's not over, is it? We thought, man, 2021, we got it. We're going to make that happen, right? When 2021 happens, it's going to be completely different. Well, not a whole lot's changed. A lot of things have gotten worse. Some things have gotten better. But I think the part that's gripping America right now is this one, fear. We agree with that? Mm-hmm. And they're scaring the crap out of us. They're between social media and all the stuff and the things they're throwing our way. Every time I turn around, it's more and more and more fear. And we need to know that when we're done tonight, you're going to be empowered to realize the fear is gone. You have what it takes to be healthy. You always have, and you're not in lack. You don't need more. You just need to express. Cool? This is what we did, didn't we? 65% of Americans were told to stay home and take time off. Right? And what did we do? We sat on our fannies. We didn't do anything. We said, watch Netflix and whatever the heck we did. I didn't. They shut down my office, and when I was doing 80 hours a week, when they closed us, we went up to 120 hours a week. The staff was here. We were here every day. We're live on video. We were connecting with our patients. We're doing everything we could to get the message out because it's that important. It's that vital. See, everybody's busy surviving the last 12 months. What they do to us? They did all kinds of fun things. They kept the liquor stores open and the pot shops, didn't they? They kept us stoned. That's their agenda, isn't it? Let's make sure everybody's blind and stupid to make sure they are completely lost. And so let's just dumb them down, right? Let's just dumb them down. What else they do? They close the organic markets. That's a great idea, isn't it? Because our food supply needs to be as much processed as humanly possible, right? Insane, right? What else did they do? They closed the gyms because exercise makes us sick, right? You see how crazy this thinking is? They created their own pandemic. You see what they did? It's insane, isn't it? So let's close the gyms. Fast food drive-through opened up extra hours. Processed foods is the best way to get us healthy, right? Are we feeling it now? This is what 2020 was, and 2020 continues. Social media fear. They told us to stay home, watch Netflix, and they closed all healthy outlets they could possibly find, including this facility. I got to tell you something, guys. During that period of 3 months when we were shut down was the most devastating period of my life. I've been through housing crashes, stock market crashes, people with no money. I mean, I've been through a lot of crap after 33 years, but that was probably the most devastating because I couldn't serve my people, and that hurt me a lot. And that was probably the thing that destroyed my heart the most. And that's why we need to make sure we're playing big. And there's a whole lot more to it. So the future is bright. That's what they're telling us. The future is bright, right? How can that be? When the American Heart Association estimates that by 2030, 41% of Americans are going to have heart disease. 41%. Ready for this? I know it doesn't mean much to you guys when we talk about this, but from now to 2030, the cost for heart disease is going to go from $272 billion up to $818 billion. I know it's like, well, you may as well just say a zillion dollars. Doesn't mean anything to me. But what does that mean? That means the paradigm is going to expand. We're going to continue to push the agenda of sick care management, and more dependency on drugs, pills, and surgery. That's what they want. We need to know there's a better way. So let's learn about our amazing heart, shall we? Don't you think you need an owner's manual for your heart since who does not have a heart in this room? Raise your hand. Okay? So interesting. I had it on Saturday, I was talking and I said, who does not have a heart in this room? And one of my patients, he goes, my ex-wife is heartless. I thought that was a pretty cool answer. I told him I was going to steal it. So our goal today is not necessarily to treat the condition of heart disease. It's to get your heart as healthy as possible. And we're going to crank it up. We're going to get that heart as healthy as it can be. Because right now, it's pumping about 2,000 gallons of blood per day. Isn't that crazy? Wow. Listen, look at this number. It beats about 115 times per day. And if it's not beaten, you're having a bad day. Can you agree with that? So we're going to make sure that happens. It delivers oxygen, nutrients, removes waste, it pushes stuff around. It's awesome. I love that thing. So what is the heart? This is kind of a good joke, but I like it. What's the heart of what we believe in our office? What do we stand for? And this is important. The body has its own innate intelligence. It has an intelligence about how it works and runs. It doesn't need to be taught. You didn't wake up and take a class on how to make your heart pump, did you? What about breathing? Did you have a class on digestion? We woke up that day, oh my gosh, my immune system, I didn't take an immune system class, right? It just knew how to do it. That's called innate intelligence. Now watch this. Principle 25, the character of innate forces. The forces of innate intelligence never injure or destroy structures in which they work. Think about that. The body knows exactly what it's supposed to do every single time. It never makes a mistake. Well, if it doesn't make a mistake, how can cancer, diabetes, heart disease, stroke, and all these things show up? It's because of interference to that innate intelligence. That body gets interfered with. Are you following me? And that's all we do in this office. We don't treat, we don't fix, I don't do anything. We remove interference and allow the body's innate intelligence to flow. Does that make it's pretty good, yeah? So I want to make sure you grasp this. What does that mean? All right? The mission of innate intelligence is to maintain living things in existence. That's what it does. Now, living things, we're talking about trees, right? Trees are maintained, they have innate intelligence, right? Animals, dogs, cats, us, we all have innate intelligence. So that's its job, that's its mission. Two cells join together to create us, and those two cells became 72 trillion. And what's really cool, those two cells, each one of those had all the knowledge to create your liver, your brain, your fingernail, your toes, your nose, your fingers. Every piece of you came from those two freaking cells. You with me? So this innate intelligence grows into us, and as long as it's free of interference, you will manifest, I'm not going to say health, life, optimum life. So there's chaos in the world, okay? And that chaos, they're called universal forces. Now I'm going to use things like wind and rain. All those things are destructive in nature. And their job is to shut down innate intelligence. So innate intelligence creates us, maintaining us in existence, and its entire purpose is to ensure that the universal forces don't shut us down. Because when we lose to universal forces are always in effect, aren't they? They're always coming at us. That could be stress. That could be junk food. That could be wind, rain, the simpler things, right? But we're always being, now ultimately, we're all going to lose our innate intelligence, aren't we? Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. At some point, we're all going to be gone. That's when the innate intelligence leaves our body and we become what we've got, yeah? Does that make sense? So that's how it works. So what do? Subluxation, which is the misalignment of the spine, but I'm going to get more detailed on that, is the interference that it inhibits innate intelligence from fulfilling its purpose. Are you with me? So when we do the adjustment, it's not to take the pressure off the nerve, it's to remove the interference to allow innate intelligence to express itself and maintain healthy existence. Isn't that crazy? So we're not treating, we're not fixing, we are simply removing interference. Now, when we say subluxation, we always think about bones, right? But I'm just going to use the word interference. What are other things that could interfere? Can we agree that bad food would interfere with innate intelligence ability to express itself, right? So is it an essential or not? Yeah, it's essential. What about stress? Would that interfere with the expression of full potential? Absolutely. Okay. What about toxins? How about that? How about sitting on our fannies and not moving very much? Would that interfere with innate intelligence and its ability to manifest? That's why there's 5 essentials, not just one. I'm not just going to do the adjustment part and pretend that the rest of the world, there's no more interference around in the world. Because we said 2020 was a planet. So we live through these 5 essentials. So we got to heal this heart, don't we? How do we do that? We got to first identify the cause of interference. All right? Now, what have we been taught? That what causes heart disease? What's the cause? Cholesterol. Does cholesterol cause heart disease? Well, let's see what y'all say. No, because you heard me yakking. So let's make some proof to it, shall we? So, truth. The oxidation of cholesterol is what causes heart disease. So, what happens? Cholesterol is an antioxidant. Its job, in the simplest of forms, is to basically take dangerous free radicals, neutralize them. Now, in that process, it becomes oxidized. Now, that's not its primary job, okay? But in the presence of nasty stuff, guess what? The cholesterol is going to help to protect the body, so it'll raise up cholesterol in the presence of all that inflammation to oxidize. But in the presence of oxidizing itself, it creates damage to the body. Make it simple, okay? Can we agree there's some pipes running through this building somewhere with water in it? Agreed? Okay, picture that as the blood vessels. Now, the blood vessels or the water in those pipes are probably pH neutral. Can we agree with that? Yeah. Now, let's say we interfere with the body. Let's eat a bunch of sugar, shall we? What does sugar create? Inflammation. So it makes the blood go acidic. Now, picture the pipes. Let's run acidic water through the copper pipes. What is that going to do to the copper pipes? It's going to eat it up. It's going to chew it up, isn't it? Do you see how it works? So that's a source of interference to that process. So all this inflammation, the brain will signal the liver to make more cholesterol to help in the process of oxidation. But in that process, causes damage, right? So there's a strategy we have to make sure that doesn't happen. More people have heart attacks with normal cholesterol than high cholesterol. That blows it up right there, doesn't it? Well, your cholesterol is normal. You're safe. Tomorrow you die from a heart attack because cholesterol does not cause heart disease. Okay? There's a higher death rate in people with low cholesterol than high cholesterol. So you have a heart attack and you die when you have low cholesterol. Wait a second, I thought we were supposed to lower our cholesterol with statin drugs to protect ourselves. By the way, statins are called cholesterol drugs, cholesterol-lowering drugs. People get confused on big words, but statins mean cholesterol lowering. Make sense? What else we know? We know that the raw material for almost every hormone in the body, including the creation of vitamin D, is from cholesterol. So if cholesterol is elevated and the body doesn't make mistakes based upon what we learned about innate intelligence, what does that tell you? The body wanted it. It raised cholesterol for a reason. Do you understand? And the copper pipe scenario is just one example where it needed more oxidative protection. But we don't want cholesterol to be oxidized. We want it to be used for other purposes. Are you with me? Everybody following? Yeah? So let's talk about plaque, this buildup inside of our arteries. Okay? Atherosclerosis. Everybody say that. Ready? Go. Atherosclerosis. You guys get better than sclerosis. All right, so this is an abstract. LDL. Now let's talk about LDLs, HDLs, good cholesterol, bad cholesterol, all the fancy words they come up with. Let's first of all start off with the word good fats and bad fats. Okay? Now that's what they called them years ago until they found a blood pressure medication called Lipitor. Wait a second. I thought Lipitor was a cholesterol-lowering drug. No, it's a blood pressure medication that failed clinical trials. But it had a crazy side effect. It lowered cholesterol. So someone in the boardroom decided, Americans are pretty stupid. So if we just change the name from good fats and bad fats to good cholesterol and bad cholesterol, I bet you we can convince them to take drugs. What do you think? You want to try? Guess what the #1 selling drug in America is? Cholesterol drugs. So they convinced us that low cholesterol needed to happen to protect our hearts. And we all bought into it hook, line, and freaking sinker. Right? When I went to college, 500, by God, when I was in school years ago, Indians was around, we had guns at school. Okay? Cholesterol normal was 350. Then they found cholesterol drugs. They thought, if we get the number lower, we can get more customers. They lowered the cholesterol number. They tried to get it to 150, but you know what happened? Everybody was dying from the drugs they were getting. You better raise that back up a little bit. Crazy. All about money. So they convinced the world that bad cholesterol, bad fats caused heart disease. LDLs, these are the supposed bad cholesterol, bad fats, whatever. LDL-C does not cause cardiovascular disease, a comprehensive review of the current literature. This is in the medical journals. I had a patient once came into the office, and he said, my doctor is taking me off my cholesterol drugs. Would you call him on the phone? And I said, absolutely, I'll call him and talk to him. I pull up the phone, I call him and say, yeah, my patient has a question or two, wants to talk to you about this cholesterol stuff. I said, I have about 300 peer-reviewed journal articles from your medical journals that say cholesterol does not cause heart disease. So I would like just one journal article proving why you're recommending a cholesterol drug to my patient, just one article, and I will review it and we'll call you back. He hung up. Because they don't want to hear the truth. They want to hear what's known, what they believe. They don't want to know about facts. Let's not get facts in the way with selling drugs. Right? So let's continue on. Okay? It's LDL-P that's the troublemaker in heart disease. Okay? Not C, but P. It's also called ApoB. So let's talk about this, okay? So we eat fat. Agreed? In fact, shouldn't it be the #1 fuel source? Fat. Triglycerides. Fats are good as long as they're a good kind of fat. That's our #1 fuel source. It gets absorbed into the bloodstream, and a little bus shows up. Honk, honk, called the chylomicron. Come on, boys, let's jump on the bus. And all these triglycerides jump on the bus, and it drives to the liver. Everybody off the bus. They show up at the bus station. It's just like downtown Denver at the bus station. You with me? Okay, so they all jump off the bus and go and sit in the little chairs in the rows, like church. They have those church rows at the bus station, right? And all the triglycerides are sitting there waiting for their pickup. Okay, then ding, 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 a door opens because the other section of the liver is where they manufacture cholesterol. So they all came out, and then all the cholesterol came out and said, and all the triglycerides waved at the cholesterol, and they waved at each other, and they all sat down, and they all were like having a party, talking like you guys were doing right before I came out here, okay? And all chatting it up, having a good time. Then guess what shows up? A bus, another bus to pick up the cholesterol and the triglycerides. It's called an HDL, the supposed good cholesterol. You with me? Now, all it is an empty bus. An HDL is an empty bus. Are you with me? So it shows up at the bus station. You ever seen a bus that's out of service? What's the little sign say in front? Out of service, right? That's an HDL. It's a bus that doesn't have anybody on. There's no passengers. Okay? So he pulls into the bus station, ding, ding, ding. The door opens, all the triglycerides and cholesterol stand up, and they load the bus. Once they load the bus, it flips over from HDL, ding, 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 turns into an LDL, because now it's loaded up with passengers. The bus driver says, I'm out of here. The nervous system, the brain calls the blood vessels, and the liver says, ship them off to the anterior descending cardiac blood vessel. Boom, drives over there, get off the bus. Get off the bus. They'll offload, and they're sitting on the inside of the blood vessel where the cholesterol buildup and all the crap, the atherosclerosis may occur. Okay, are you with me? And so they get off the bus, and then what happens? It now changes it's now what? Ding, 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 what is it? It's an HDL now. It's a good cholesterol or a good fat or whatever you want to call it. I don't care. It's a bus. It's an empty bus. And it drives back to the liver, and then you are sitting there going, okay, I'm going to do my HIIT training, which is an essential, our #4, and you do your HIIT training, get your exercise in. All the HDL or all the triglycerides get absorbed into the energy machine and get used as fuel. The cholesterol gets absorbed and gets used as testosterone, progesterone, estrogen. It becomes aldosterone. It becomes cortisol. It becomes norepinephrine. All these hormones your body needs to function. Are you with me? That's the way it works. Then the HDL drives back to the liver, picks up another bus load, and drives back and dumps it off. That's what's normal. Here's the problem. We eat the good fat. The bus picks it up, ding, 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 flips over, and drives back to dump off the blood vessel. Problem is, they everybody off. They offload the bus, and then it drives back about halfway back. Oh, I'm sorry, she sat on her butt and ate some Cheetos. We need to send her back and pick up that fat. So the bus turns around, picks up all the fat, all the cholesterol, and drives back to the liver and dumps out the triglycerides and the cholesterol for the next run. Now, what's happening to your liver? You're still eating triglycerides, you're still making cholesterol, you're now getting a fatty liver. Heard that term before? That's how it becomes fatty. But you keep doing this, and now pretty soon you've got an HDL bus that shows up. On the bus, what are you doing? You're overloading the bus with cholesterol and triglycerides. Now enter ApoB. Okay? It's a little tail. Who remembers this car that when you were a kid and you had the low riders, right? And it was low, and if you got it low enough, you could throttle it, and it would spark. Right? You with me? Remember that, guys? Remember you had that car and it would throw sparks off the back of your car? Okay, that's what ApoB is. It's a fibrinogen molecule on the end of the bus that drags along the blood vessel when it gets overloaded. When the ApoB drags along the blood vessels, that creates a buoy that creates inflammation. Add to that sugar and other things we do to rust the copper pipes or damage the copper pipes. And cholesterol starts oxidizing to protect from the inflammation, then the clot forms. Are you with me? That's how you end up with hardened arteries. I said it that way instead of the other way. It's hard to say. Okay, are you with me? So what do we got to do? Apply our diet essentials, right? Decrease inflammation. Get on your T3. Do the things. Put in the healthy fats. Use the fuel, right? The way it was designed. Okay? Statin drugs must be the answer to lower the cholesterol. Because the cholesterol becomes oxidized, it becomes inflammatory, which perpetuates the sclerosis of the blood vessel, right? So we already talked about it. Statin, you know, I hope I made my point, it's a cholesterol drug, right? So what happens to energy and inflammation on statins? Okay? When you take fuel, run it through the energy machine called the Krebs cycle. Sorry, I said it. I tried not to the whole time. Couldn't help myself. Okay? The tail end of the process, the body takes CoQ10 and takes oxygen, which is very, very, it's crazy. Once it gets oxidized, it becomes very dangerous. Okay? And neutralizes it, and then it turns into water and tons and tons and tons of energy. Okay? So CoQ10 combines with oxygen to neutralize all that oxidative stress on the organ, on the body. You with me? Where does CoQ10 come from? Where does cholesterol come from? What did I say? The liver. The liver makes it, right? Is there any way to eat too much cholesterol to cause elevated cholesterol? Yes or no? Anybody? It's impossible. You can't eat enough cholesterol to offset the brain and its intelligence, that innate intelligence, right? The innate intelligence, well, he ate, we'll say 100's normal, just 100 anything, and you ate 20 cholesterols. The body will say, well, you're not going to make 100 this time. We're going to make 80, so it equals 100. It'll decrease based upon what the brain decides is appropriate. So if it's elevated for a reason. Because of demand, it needs it. So for the ladies, all you gals going through menopause, guess what happens? Your ovaries were making estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone made from cholesterol, okay? And your adrenal glands were making adrenaline, aldosterone, cortisol, and things like that. Now, they're all working because you guys are all stressed out too much. You're adrenergic, you're crazy, going like this, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, right? And so this is working hard, and these are working hard, making babies and big boobies and fun stuff over here. While this guy's working on all this stress. Okay? So the brain the ovaries shut down because you go through menopause, and the brain calls the adrenals, go, yeah, I need a little more out of you now. And they go, I ain't got enough raw material. We're gonna have to negotiate this. We're not gonna make estrogen, progesterone, or testosterone. Okay, because we don't have enough raw material. Then you go to your medical, the brain's trying to pump out more cholesterol, right? Because it needs it to make that stuff. And so then you go to your medical doctor, he goes, well, you got the high cholesterol. You got to get you on the cholesterol pill, which lowers it even more, making it even worse for you as you go through menopause. It doesn't protect anything. And guess what? Here's more fun. We've got to finish the story. Okay, so the liver makes cholesterol, and guess what else it makes? CoQ10, which is the primary antioxidant. That's what you're supposed to be using. The cholesterol isn't supposed to be used as an antioxidant. That's what CoQ10 is for. Are you with me? So the CoQ10 is supposed to oxidize all that's acidic within the blood vessels, and the cholesterol is supposed to be absorbed and used for all those fun things. You with me? But I'm sorry, you jump off the bus, and there's a bunch of oxidation. It oxidizes the cholesterol to neutralize the damage, and cholesterol is unusable. You see how that whole thing works? But all we got to do is give them statin drugs, take the blood pressure medication, and do all that crap. Don't worry about lifestyle because it has nothing to do with it. It doesn't make any logical sense. Why are there not 500 people in this audience hearing this right now? I don't get it. I don't understand it because the science doesn't back up anything they say. It doesn't. Okay? So if you're taking CoQ10, if you're taking cholesterol drug, what's going to happen to inflammation? It's going to skyrocket because you don't have the oxidative protection from the cholesterol and from the CoQ10. Okay? And so energy is going to plummet because you need the CoQ10 to oxidize the oxygen in the final step of the energy machine. So instead of getting 36 gallons of gasoline, you're going to get 4. And you're exhausted all the time. I don't know what them stabs make me so tired. Fuck what they do. Makes sense. I don't know why I got the erectile dysfunction. I do because you're going to need testosterone because you got rid of all your damn cholesterol. Right? You get it? So, what is rhabdomyolysis? Anybody? Go. Rhabdomyolysis. Anybody? Come on, Mary, hook me up. Don't know that one? Okay, let's break it down. Rhabdo means fascicle. Myo means muscle, and lysis means to break down. So years ago, on commercials, they had to tell some truth, and they would say, now, if you take a cholesterol-lowering drug like Lipitor, you may get some occasional side effects, such as horrible muscle cramps and wasting. That's called rhabdomyolysis. So not only does cholesterol damage your liver, that's, by the way, how they lower cholesterol, because they kill your liver. That's why you have to take so many blood tests when you're on a statin to make sure they're not killing the liver so fast that you'll die. Because we don't want to lose a customer, we just want to sell drugs. Follow? Okay? But it also damages muscle. I forget. What the heck is a heart made out of? I forget. Oh, it's made of muscle. So to protect the heart, we're lowering the oxidative protection of cholesterol and CoQ10, which neutralizes inflammation, which is the source of heart disease, and we're destroying the heart itself because it's made of a muscle. Tell me where the logic is in any of this. And we wonder why we're going to spend $818 billion on heart disease in the next 20 years. Because the logic and the science don't make any sense. But let's follow the science. Ask how people. So how do we help this? How can we help this? Things such as plant sterols, curcumin and turmeric, red rice yeast, and CoQ10. These nutrients are anti-inflammatory. Turmeric, same stuff. Your curcumin in your stuff, all the Indian food loaded with that good stuff. Okay? There's a place called the Yak and Yeti over on 144th. You haven't eaten there, it's freaking awesome. Loaded up with turmeric, loaded up with some wonderful curcumin. Okay? So those are some nutrients to help with that. Okay? So what do we got to do? We're going to get some CoQ10 in your diet. And by the way, if you've ever taken a statin drug in your entire life, I want you to remember you got to take CoQ10 forever because your liver will never recover 100%. So you got to take it forever. So this will be one of your lifetime supplements if you've ever been on a statin. And if you don't, if what I said didn't make any sense to you and you can continue to take your statin drug, that's fine, but make sure you're taking CoQ10 because you cannot make it on a statin. Got it? And then the vitamin D with probiotics. Vitamin D is huge. Vitamin D and vitamin A are huge in immune system function, but cholesterol becomes vitamin D. So if you lower your cholesterol in the liver, you got to take oral vitamin D. I don't care how much sun you get, you're not going to get enough. So these are the things you're going to need. Okay? All right. So LDL-P, that's our what? Our little scraper guy on the coffee. And then there's our big sparks coming out the back, which is inflammatory, right? So what causes LDL-P? The dumb stuff we do. Our lifestyle. The processed foods we eat. The high sugar content. The lack of exercise. I mean, you recognize this guy? That was me last night watching the Nuggets game. Anybody else? All right. See what happens? We got the Skittles and the jellies and the jams and the processed foods. And so that's what creates it, right? But wait a second. I thought fat caused heart disease. It was fat. You know, it's funny, there was a slide from 100 years ago that just jumped into my head. And there was a medical doctor back in 1950s, late 50s, early 60s said, when people stopped eating lard, that's when he saw a huge jump in cardiovascular disease. And now if you think about what I'm saying, it makes logical sense, doesn't it? But that was a slide from 20 years ago. But it's still the same. Lard? We're supposed to eat lard. You can eat lard as long as it comes from what kind of a cow?
Grass-fed.
Organic, breastfed. Breastfed cow. I like that cow. Breastfed cow. So the scapegoat has been fat. Any study that's ever been done on fat never differentiated a good fat from a bad fat. You should be consuming copious amounts, tons of healthy fats. So we should be doing that. It's not the fat, it's the type of fat. Okay? And what are the types of fats? What should you be consuming? Olive oil, raw nuts and seeds, coconut oil, what else? Avocados, organic butter. That's good. Very nicely done. I love you guys come to multiple programs. Keep learning. See, you can't remember everything, can you? How many have done a heart program with me before? Okay, heard some of this before, remembered some of it. What part did you forget? And that's not your fault. It's just because that's the nature of human beings. We forget stuff. So we got to identify the cause. We found it's not cholesterol. We found that it's not fat. Okay, so we got to figure out how to do it. So we got to get this fixed up by getting healthy fats in our diet. Okay, omega-3 fatty acids. Those are that's the answer. Now, what's the problem with omega-3? Now that's your cold water fish, right? Where's that come? Why cold water? Why do we want cold water fish and not warm water fish? Any idea? Say it. Who said it? I heard it.
Less toxins.
Toxins. All the toxins drift in warm climates. So that's why you want cold water. So your harvest, like maybe Alaska, for example, and that fish is loaded up with healthy fats, but it's still got a lot of toxins. Even cold water fish, according to the rules, you're not supposed to eat more than 1 or 2 times a week because of the toxic load. So where do you got to get it? From a not good source, right? From a vitamin supplement source. So I get mine from Walmart. That's my favorite. That's my best source. Okay, it's only $3. Get a whole bucket of them. What's the problem with that, guys? They're not new. They don't pull the poisons out. They cheat. They put vegetable oil in, which is the worst kind of fat you can eat. They mix it in with the fish oil because it smells like fish, so it must be fish oil, right? They do all kinds of stuff to cheat. And one of my patients today, Cindy, that was talking about her supplements and some of the stuff she was buying. Where do you find the crap elsewhere? Well, it's cheaper. Of course it's cheaper. It's crap. So make sure you get your supplements from a good source. I trust all the sources that we have here. So make sure you know how it happened. Make sure you're getting the right source. Okay? Omega-3, EPA, DHA, and ALA. Now, alpha-linoleic acid. Okay? That is the most prevalent omega-3 in our diet. Why is that a problem? Shouldn't be, right? It's omega-3. Well, the problem is it never makes it past an enzyme called delta-6 desaturase. I don't get hung up on the words. Okay, here comes this fat, and it needs to be processed to an enzyme to become anti-inflammatory. That's why it's good. The problem is we eat so many omega-6s from the meat in our diet, from conventionally grown cows, that it burns up the enzyme, so the fat never gets used in the anti-inflammatory way. So that's why you have to have EPA, DHA, in addition to some GLAs and some other A's in there that are past the enzyme block. That's why you can't trust the fatty acids from Walmart or from GNC or wherever you're buying your stuff. Even vitamin cottage and some of the others. They don't scrutinize like we do. Okay? The cardiovascular system, it can be rebuilt. You know, they said that kids, infants, ages 6 to 7 months old are now showing plaquing in their arteries because of the garbage mommies are eating, and the breast milk's loaded with poison, even when you breastfeed, not to mention a lot of people are doing the bottle feed now. And the plastics, oh my God, it's terrible. Okay? But the cardiovascular system can regenerate. They're called epithelial progenitor cells. Okay, who's heard of stem cells? Okay, those are the stem cells of the body. They're baby cells, and when I grow up, I'm going to do something cool. All right? And that's the point. We want to make sure we get lots of those. Calcium and magnesium are critical to activate those cells to rebuild the blood vessels. So stem cells can be stimulated through pomegranates, through beets, and garlic. Who's ever heard garlic's good for your heart? This is why. Oh. It stimulates the stem cells to rebuild the cardiovascular system. Isn't that exciting? And that's just in food. Now, where should this food, this all should be like, should be having number 8 in front of it when you buy it, right? No. Anybody number 8? 9. Nope, 9. Oh, 9. Okay, 9 means organic, doesn't it? What if it only has 4 numbers? Should you buy it? No. Because that's conventionally grown, that's pesticides and herbicides, right? So read your labels. No, number 9s are fine, okay? All right. So what is considered the silent killer? Anybody? No, that's the disease. But what is the problem? What's the cause? High blood pressure. High blood pressure is the silent killer. That's why you go in for a walk and feeling, I feel great today, and they put a cup on you. Oh my God, here's some lisinopril for the rest of your life. Do you guys realize that in order to be diagnosed with high blood pressure, you have to have 3 readings of high blood pressure at the exact same time of the day, 3 in a row? Anybody here taking, you don't have to raise your hand, but if you're taking blood pressure medication, ask yourself the question, did the doctor test you 3 times before he handed you a script? 2 times.
They tested me twice, and we talked about this at the city doctor for my
I didn't test the 3rd time, so maybe in May you wouldn't get your drug. And some kudos to this guy. He did a lot of cool things and got his blood pressure down, so he could get DOT. Is that what you're?
Yeah, I go back on Thursday for him.
He's doing great because he's taking natural steps. No drugs, no pills, no nothing. Just health. Just getting the innate intelligence flowing by removing interference. Right. So again, stage 1. This is the top number. When I was in school, they taught you that the top one's called the systolic, the bottom one's the diastolic. The di makes you die. That's what they taught us. A little trick. But it's not true. It's both ends. So again, because the top end is when the part's pumping, that's the pressure out. And when it's stopping, there's no pressure. And the baseline is what they said makes it pop. Well, it's not true. You can just die anything. But again, it requires 3 days of testing in a row to obtain that, the diagnosis of high blood pressure. Okay? Yeah. So how do we mitigate blood pressure? Nitric oxide. Not nitrous oxide. That's the fun stuff you get with dentists. Right? Nitric oxide. Okay? Nitric oxide is the great blood vessel. My mouth is not working tonight. Blood vessel relaxer. It softens your blood vessels. Nitric oxide. It's amazing stuff. Okay? So it comes from L-arginine, which is an amino acid, which converts into nitric oxide. It's great. Lowers blood pressure naturally, and there's other things as well. But this is something that's found in a lot of food products. So the answer is say yes to no. Nitrous oxide, no. Come on, you're supposed to laugh. That was a joke. All right. Raw materials that will help. L-arginine we just talked about. It's called the Neopeptide Powder. It comes from dried fish. It supports relaxation of blood vessels and grapeseed extract. Those all have a lot of levels. So if you want to decrease your blood pressure, eat a lot of dried fish and a whole lot of grapeseed extract. Okay? Now we need to strategically move. We have to be moving our bodies. Okay? We can't sit on our fannies and expect our hearts to work. It wasn't meant that way. We were meant to move. Sitting is not natural. It should not be happening. So what type of exercise is best? Short-term, high intensity. Essential number 4, which is what we teach, is the HIIT training, the max T3. That is the stuff that's going to make it happen. This on the go, okay, you pick up one of those little bookmark things, costs you $10. Not a month, forever. And it's 15 minutes of it, 12 minutes really, but it's actually really 6 minutes. You're only exercising for 6 minutes, resting for 6 minutes, and you get the huge benefit only 3 days a week. It costs you $10. Make an investment in yourself and do it. They don't buy it and throw it aside. You got to actually physically move it to make it work. Okay? But it's awesome. Max T3. Okay? And wobble cushion. Y'all, you don't have one of these? They're cheap. I think they're $16 or something. Buy one. Okay? Don't have one, get one, because you should be doing it for your warm-ups at home anyway. Move your fanny on the chair. Put this on your chair at work. So you can just, I'm just going to do this for a little bit, right? And the boss won't yell at you because you're still at your workstation doing your magic, right? So use it. This is a great way to increase that and balance the nervous system. Okay, let's talk about the nervous system. Okay, our thoughts create reality for us. If we are constantly in a state of stress, what's going to happen?
Migraines.
Migraines, that's an example. But a chronic state of stress causes adrenaline, doesn't it? What's adrenaline do to your heart? It makes it speed up. It makes it speed up and race, doesn't it? So when you're now stress is not necessarily bad. Exercise, does that cause adrenaline to go up? Yes. Is that a good kind of stress? Mm-hmm. Yes. When you stop exercising, the adrenaline goes down. It's the chronic stress that kills us. So you go to your doctor's office, he says, oh my gosh, you have too much stress. What's he going to give you? A beta blocker. You know what that does? It plugs into your heart where adrenaline would plug in, so it can't turn on your heart. So you're just a state of constant blah. So you're exhausted all the time. When you try to walk, you can't breathe because your heart's not regulated. It's being regulated by the drug. Because they're petrified that your heart is going to race too fast and it's going to pop out of your chest, which makes logical sense. So we have to remember our thoughts make that happen. I love this. Dr. Charles Majors always said this. The cause is the cure. Find the cause and you've got the cure. Right? Remove the interference, which is the cause, and you've got the cure. It doesn't need drugs. It doesn't need pills. It doesn't need surgery. It just needs you to have no interference, to allow you to express your potential. Most heart attacks are caused by an imbalance of your central nervous system. And the autonomic system is one that controls that function. So you guys seen this before. Balance the nervous system. You see this before, right? One side of the system is the adrenaline system. The other one is the rest and digest system. Where do you need to spend most of your time? In the rest and digest. Where do we spend most of our time? In adrenaline, right? And then we don't get it because we're exhausted all the time. What do you drink? A cup of triple frappuccino, cappuccino, espresso from Starbucks, which causes the adrenaline response, which makes your heart jump out of your chest and you wonder why you have anxiety. Right? So we have to balance it. And how do we balance it? By doing chiropractic adjustments. The spine is the armor that protects the nervous system, but when it becomes subluxated or out of alignment, you damage the nerve because it isn't where it's supposed to be. This is a perfect curve. When the curve is perfect, the nervous system is balanced, the adrenaline system and the rest and digest system are in perfect working order. That's why chiropractic is essential number 2, right? You've got to be getting chiropractic care. This can't be guesswork, okay? Everybody do me a favor, get your phone down. Get your phones out, get your phones out, get your phones out. Who's over there? Would you do me a favor and grab the paperwork for the program? So you guys all should have gotten a coupon or a little coupon, yes? Sammy Lou?
You're gonna pass them out right now.
I'm gonna pass them out right now. Okay, the staff's gonna pass out a coupon for you, okay? So here's how it's gonna work, okay? You're gonna get a cardio coupon. This is for people you care about. If there's somebody in this room who's sitting next to you as a guest right now, hand it to them and make sure they get scheduled and set up for an appointment in this office. Okay? Make sure we get them checked out because the nervous system controls. Because think about it. If we get all those nutrients inside your body and the nerve to your stomach is damaged, you can't absorb it. You can't digest it. So what's the point? The nervous system is very important. When I think about what are things that you could lose that would cause death? Okay? How long could you go without food without dying? Philip? 3 days. What'd you say? 30 days. We'll say 40 is fine. 30 is accepted. So 30 days.
Around 40.
So we'll say 40 days. So that's kind of important. But after 40 days, you should probably eat. Agreed? Now, what's more important? Now, how long can you go without water?
3 days.
Okay, so what's more important, food or water?
Water.
Excellent. You guys are doing great. Okay, now air. Air is kind of important. How long can you go without oxygen?
4 minutes.
A minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes? So what's more important, water or air?
Air.
How long can you go without your nerve system connected? Without it, you're done. So what's the most important system you gotta do? Is it nutrition and water? Or is it air? It's nervous system. See, I just mentioned 4 of the 5 essentials, and what's more important is knowledge. Right? That's so get your phone out, punch in this number, go to your place where you text. Okay, wherever you're texting, you're gonna text somebody. Pretend you're gonna text Tammy. Everybody there?
No.
They were waiting for the slow folks in front. You got it open?
I got it open.
Calvin is open. Like, you just text your best friend. Don't pull them up, though. Just have a little line there. Punch in this number, 303-254-8430. 303-254-8430. That's the number you put in that spot. Okay? Now you're going to put in the word line, you're going to put in the word, where's that? Cardio. Cardio. C-A-R-D-I-O. And then percent. Okay? Now, in a little bit, maybe 5 seconds, maybe 15 minutes. If you don't get it, I want you to yell, everybody going to turn around and look at Amanda, because I don't trust this system at all, okay? But she says you'll get a magical coupon for the cardio, which you will then copy and forward to everybody in your phone. Tell them I'm sending you this because I love you, and they're going to get a special discount for being a patient. So you can do it the old school way, where you're going to take this coupon and you're going to go, here, go do my arm wrangler, which is cool. I'm used to that. I'm old. I like it. Or number 2, you can forward that coupon and send it to you. You with me? So save people, help them, and tell them, and just send it and tell them why. Listen, I want you to just do me this wonderful favor, so I want to pay my knowledge forward so we can help serve and save. That's it. And then they can click on it and become a patient, or they could not click on it and don't become a patient and continue to do the drugs, the pills, and get the rusted copper pipes and the acidic blood and everything else we talked about. Drugs. This is how we change it. Okay? Now guys, vitamins are nutritional insurance. They shouldn't be the primary. What should be the primary? Where should you get your vitamins from? Food, right? The problem is, are we really eating as healthy as we should or could? And the answer is, even if you try. My favorite thing is buy organic food. While you eat garbage, all the garbage goes up into the sky, right, from all our air pollution or whatever, ends up in the clouds, then it rains all over the organic food, and then you're stuck with all the carbon poison from our cars. It's almost impossible to be healthy, completely. That's why you need nutritional insurance. And that's what this is all about. So I want you to think about yourself right now and think about you, okay? So the cardiovascular bundle. I have some blood vessel problems, and I may have heart problems. How do you know? I have anxiety, panic attacks. I have confirmed blocked arteries from an angiogram. I've got high lipid panel that's out of balance. I've got, my doctor said I've got heart, I have what was the one, atrial fibrillation, I have ventricular fibrillation. I have missing heartbeats. I have any of these words. Anybody else have words for me? Doctors?
Palpitation?
Palpitations would be another one. Anything else for heart?
Varicose veins.
What else? Murmur would be another one where you want this. Anybody else? What'd you say? Cardio what? Myocardial infarction. If you've had a heart attack, that's a fancy name for heart attack. Yes, this is your bundle right there. Red rice yeast with CoQ10, curcumin, and plant sterols. That's what you're walking out with tonight if you're that person. Okay? You got that going, that's what you need. Okay, I have high blood pressure. My doctor's got me on blood pressure medication. He's doing this, he's doing that. All these things really, I've been checked, I have high blood pressure. Okay? This is going to be your supplement. There it is. Say yes to no, NO max, right? BP support. BP support is cool because it's called an adaptogenic herb. Now what it does, even if you continue to take your blood pressure medication, BP support balances that. So if you don't take it, this will balance it to a perfect number. If you take it, it'll balance to a perfect number. So what I encourage you to do is work with your medical doctor, take the BP support, get your adjustment, apply everything you've learned tonight, and then slowly work your way off the medication. And then finally, when your body's healthy, you're off of the BP support too. You see how it works? Get your body healthy. That's what you did, right? Make sense? And the final one is blood pressure, blood vessel support. Now, I didn't know you have blood vessel problems. I've got varicose veins. I've got cold hands or feet. I have circulation problems. I've heard that all the time, right? What else for circulation? Anybody? Any blood vessel stuff?
Raynaud's syndrome.
What'd you say?
Raynaud's
syndrome. Okay. So I have Raynaud's phenomenon where your fingers turn white. Okay. Your feet turn purple and blue. I'm always cold. All that circulation. Now, what's really in this particular one is a max natto. Now, natto is a proteolytic enzyme. What it does is really neat. It eats all the crap built up inside the blood vessels. So it literally eats away at all that buildup, that plaque buildup, so your copper pipes don't burst. Kind of cool, yeah. And that's a proteolytic enzyme. Also good for traumatic injuries. It eats away the crap, basically. Kind of neat, yeah. Okay, Dr. Ray, I have a good heart. I think it's okay. I hope it's okay. This is your insurance, as we talked about. So it's going to be the cardio. This is for everybody in the room who wasn't in the prior group. Got me? So y'all should be walking out with CoQ10 with lipoic acid and the garlic and parsley blend. Garlic, good for the heart, right? We talked about that. It's antioxidant, all kinds of wonderful benefits. Right on? Okay, so that's for everybody. The other ones were specific to conditions. Follow me? Any questions? Everybody's like, I don't know, what should I get? What should I get? At the end, I don't want to hear that. Everybody should get that. Right on? All right. So, if you have the courage to start and finish, we have a challenge that we're implementing. Okay? It's a 30-day motion challenge. We're going to challenge you for 30 days to take motion. Okay? So you're going to get this via email. We also have some physical copies if you're like me and don't understand technology. Okay? So, 30-day challenge. I told you. Oh, I can get away. Enter. Okay. So I can't make it work, so we're going to go back. See, I told you I technologically challenged. So I got my backup system. Here it is. Bam. See, I made a copy. So the other one was cool, though. It flips. Okay? So I made it look really cool. But this is part of it. Keep it moving, 30 days of motion, take active breaks. What are the risks of sitting too much? It has all the different things you do, the templates, the calf raises, the exercises. And I dare you to move for 30 days and watch what happens to your body. I dare you. I double dare you. Double dog dare you. Triple dog dare you. Oh, that's the triple dog dare. Okay? Make sense? So all this stuff, stay hydrated. It gives you step-by-step instructions for 30 days to transform your movements. Make sense? So I want you to sign up for the challenge. Staff, are we going to walk around and sign people up now? Is that the plan?
Yes,
All
sir.
right, so where's my team? Let's hook me up. So we're gonna sign you guys up for the challenge. Now, please sign up. I'm gonna explain why. Sign up, and it's gonna get you to a VIP dinner. How many VIPs do I have in the room right now? Raise your hand. Okay, VIPs, all my warrior patients. Put your hand high. High and proud. Good. All right. We'll learn about that. You're not a warrior yet. Okay, the team's gonna walk through, get you guys signed up for the challenge, okay? And I'm gonna take a 10-second break and not talk, which is impossible. I'm gonna get a cup of water. So they're gonna sign you guys up, pass it around, and you give me the thumbs up or screen when you guys sign everything up. Right on? So don't leave. If you leave, I will not be a part of the drawing. Right, Miguel? Yeah.
Just do it. You don't need like.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't, and I go to gym, so I don't.
But you are already doing it, so just sign up.
Who's not signing up?
Michael isn't. Mikey McClellan
I do it
isn't.
anyway. Well, then it makes it easy for you.
I know, that's what I was thinking.
You can't be on an island on your own. It's about building a community. You're right.
Join the community.
Are you gonna change healthcare by doing it?
Yeah, I don't go to the gym, I have to pump iron all day.
Yeah. Yeah. You got the hydraulic companies in there, right? How are you?
Yes, I signed up. Does it look like I should be sitting?
Guys, in case you didn't remember, it's on the paperwork, on the
I
different
thought I
ones.
just signed up for that.
What you should get.
Oh, did you?
That's
Oh, I
exactly what you
already did. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I did a pancake. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so here's the thing.
Who's not
The
signing
warrior
up for the challenge? So I wanna know.
Yeah, no joke.
It's one of the easiest challenges we've done yet. You just have to move every day. You better get signed up. Come on.
Move it.
Move it. That was on, I heard it. We like to move it. And I got
Have
that.
to move 2 more minutes to take.
This hips don't lie.
Right, you signed up? You signed up already? Okay.
That's when I walk most of the time for 6 or 8 hours.
You have to dissolve your ego.
That's the hardest thing to do.
You can't be pure love until you dissolve your ego.
Go text myself. Don't put in,
So on a different level, not like an outlet.
Don't be rude. Yeah, I heard you.
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's okay.
Anybody else having trouble with the text? No, yes? So, again, you go through?
I sent it, but I haven't got a response.
Yeah.
But Brenda has.
Yeah, so I don't know. I'll get you, I'll get, I can answer. All I know is an ad.
Nothing's wrong with me. Hi.
Maybe at 2 a.m.
Probably 2 a.m.
Yeah.
You guys are living.
How long you been coming here?
You better.
Huh? Yeah.
Challenge, do the challenge, do the challenge.
Oh, wow.
Challenge, do the
That's
challenge.
years in this life that you never pay attention to, you never really think about it.
Are we done, man?
Yeah.
Were we supposed to get that response back?
Yeah, parts up way down here.
You will. You just texted one word, right?
I'm good, glad you're here. It's definitely, it's important, you know, they really, wish you
we're brought up with this knowledge, you know, and then,
For the one word cardio,
yeah,
or did they do?
But you
Fun
need
people?
a bone doctor.
yeah.
Like, let's see cardio.
No, that's what the cardio, I said text the word cardio.
Oh, okay, so they do it, okay.
Cardio.
Won't get anything if it's just info, I got
There's
it.
two parts to that song.
But he's talking about innate, you know, knowledge, you know, that our body really can do so much stuff, to put it in position to really do it, you know.
Cardio, right there.
Yeah.
Everybody good? Got it now? Cardio.
Yeah.
Cardio coupon is the old school way.
Dang. Good, see?
2 weeks.
That's awesome. Yeah, just imagine about a year of it.
I got 3 days left for 2 days.
Yeah, we all kind of go through that same
Go
stuff.
show up and then swear. Okay, are we done? Ladies, gentlemen? Got no thumbs up? We're good. Okay, let's continue on. Now, why do you want to sign up for the cardio challenge? Because you have to complete a challenge in order to make it to become the VIP warrior patient.
Yeah.
Here's how it works. Transitioning from the general office population into a warrior. This is how you do it. Step one, you gotta go to a workshop. You guys can all take your finger, go like this. Check it in the air. Good, you did it. This is it, you did it, it's done. Okay, step number two, you gotta come to a community dinner, not a VIP dinner. This is the dinner where Beverly invites 1 to 10 of her best friends to BJ's Brew House, and guess what? We can move this mission forward. Yeah? Okay, that's step number two. Now, step number three, you gotta complete a challenge. Okay? This is the easiest challenge we've ever done. You just gotta move your fanny. You got to move it, yeah? Okay? And then the third step after that, you get to join us at the Hideaway. Okay? And take you to the Hideaway restaurant, which who has not been there? You got my VIPs, of course. Awesome place, isn't it? Who makes it bad?
Oh, dang.
Okay, really good. Okay, this is crazy good. We're gonna get an invitation to that. Okay, and then what's gonna happen? You're going to show up. And you're gonna eat. You're gonna have some fun. And I don't talk a whole lot at that program, but a little bit. Okay? Oh, you're on, Cindy. There she is. And there's Matthew being crazy.
When is it?
The VIP dinner?
This.
I'm not telling you yet.
Oh, I saw April down.
That was the old one.
Okay.
That's just the invitation. June 1st.
Oh,
Make sense?
okay.
But this is when you have 2 big classes that graduated, so a lot of them are here already. So this is how you become a warrior patient. So you make it to the VIP, we pour into you, and this becomes your office. That's the point. This is not my office. This is not Dr. David, Dr. Andrew, Sammy, or anybody else's office. This is your office. We're here for you. We're here to serve you and the people you love. Remember, at the beginning, everybody, that's the frustrating part to me. Everybody deserves this. So here's your answer. Let's answer your question. So 30-day motion challenge begins now. If you haven't signed up, make sure you do before you leave. You're going to get an email. They'll give you the book. They'll give you the step-by-step instructions. There's a mechanical version or a paper version here. We got 12 of those. So make sure you get that if you want to. Okay? The next dinner is June 1st. That's Monday. If you have somebody that you're really thinking of that you want to pour into and you love right now, make sure you just talk to Sammy, Amanda, or Jocelyn or anybody else about getting them to the dinner. That's coming up Monday night.
Tuesday.
Tuesday night, June 1st. Okay? Then, and that's 1 to 10 guests. Again, it depends on how many people you want to bring, but 10 is max. Then we got ladies' night. Ladies' night. Okay? We got wine, food, and women's health education, June 18th at 6:30 p.m. There will be wine here served. What's really crazy is no doctors in this office are allowed because it's a ladies' night. So the staff are going to run everything. So I'm not charging nothing. Dr. Andy, Dave, and I are going to get our own wine. Okay? We'll make that happen. Okay? the VIP, this is to answer your question, the next VIP dinner will be at the Hideaway June the 22nd. That's a special invitation only. You must complete 3 pieces. The event seminar, you've got to complete your dinner, bring 1 guest to a dinner, minimum up to 10, you did that already. And the third piece is you've got to, do the challenge. You got to do your exercise. You got to move it. And every seminar will have a challenge now. From now on, for the rest of the life, there'll be a challenge to keep people going through. Now, this is a part that always drives me freaking crazy. You didn't tell me about the event coming up, so I already scheduled a blah, 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 blah with my brother-in-law's blah, 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 blah. Or I have a ball game, or I got whatever your excuse is. Love My Guts Makeover. It's Saturday, July 10th. That gives you a crap load of time. I expect all of you to put that in your calendar tonight, because I don't want to hear about July 9th. Oh, my brother-in-law's cousin's sister has a wedding invitation that day. Tell them to change their wedding day, bring the wedding party here. We all deserve help, okay? With me? So make sure you save the date. Got it? Take a picture. Last longer. Yes, can I move on? Put it in your calendars now.
Are you gonna come to Ohio?
Don't even give me no flack, because you're the one I did this for. I'm not gonna be in now.
I've already got my plane ticket.
Okay, so
I'm out of here.
raise your hand if you participated in the spring cleaning detox challenge. Raise your hand. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, stand up and give these people a round of applause. They completed the challenge. Okay, who else completed the challenge? Raise your hand. Anybody else? That's it? Cool. Congratulations. Thank you guys for participating in that challenge. Let's keep building more and more warrior patients, okay? Got it? All right, Zoom. All right, so a special surprise for those who are going to be doing this particular challenge. We're also going to make it a sweeter deal, and we're going to get you a cardio recipe book. Inside that book are a bunch of healthy heart recipes that you can follow. You do, again, this is the avocado, high fat green smoothie, cherry lemon smoothie, and so on. Okay? So that is everything. I got nothing else. I am finito bonito at a relatively record pace. Everybody